So walk us through how you came up with this and what the adoption rate's like. What are you doing?
Sure. So Mastercard is a payments technology company. We help people pay for things and get paid digitally. But the reality is, as you say, there's still 230 million people who are being paid by private sector in cash. And those tend to be in very labor-intensive industries like garment manufacturing. There are others as well. So we've made a global partnership with brands like Levi Strauss, Marks and Spencer's, Vanity Fair brands who have North Face, Timberland, and we are digitizing the payroll in their factories, which is of benefit not just to the supply chain because it reduces operational costs, because it's efficient and because it's transparent, but also for the workers because it allows them to receive their pay securely and safely. It also helps build financial stability. We see a sort of 15 to 20% shift in workers' ability to save when they are paid digitally. And also for many of these people, it's the first time that they will have received a bank account. So it brings them into the world's formal economy.
Yeah, I was going to ask about how many of them are unbanked. So is it about 50%, I would think, are presently unbanked?
The large majority are unbanked, actually. And the World Bank do a lot of work in this area, and there's still 1.7 billion people in the world that are unbanked, and Mastercard's made a public agenda about helping to include 500 million people into the world's formal economy by 2020, and we're on the cusp of doing that now. But the next stage, and we all need to make a difference in the area of women, and you mentioned that a large proportion of these workers are women.
Yeah, I was actually surprised about that. So can you walk me through what you found when you were putting this together in terms of women in the garment industry? Yeah,
of course. So in general, what we find is that the solutions and the environment was not designed with women in mind. We're 50% of the population. We're a growth driver for the economy, but really making sure that the world is well designed with women in mind is critical for us. And nearly 70% of these workers are women. And we've found that 75% of these people don't have basic financial literacy. So we are working on programs with nonprofit organizations. We're working with the Business for Social Responsibility, and they are helping us do on-the-ground, peer-to-peer training of basic things about how to use money, how to use a bank account. And the beauty of what we see there is not only does that help the women in the factories, but women tend to pass that information on to their children as well. So it helps not just now, but also for the next generation.
Well, and there's a lot of data that show that women will tend to spend money on their families, on education, whereas that doesn't always happen when it's men bringing home the money, especially in emerging markets and developing economies. So it's really going to have, I think, down the road some interesting positive iterative effects.
That's correct, and I think that there's two key reasons why it's really important for us to focus on women. A, they're the power engine, and B, because they create this environment of healthy adoption of behaviors and habits.